Hi everyone and welcome back to Midnight Theories, and if you're new here, welcome to Midnight Theories. Today I will bring awareness to the Eastlake case, how a company that was supposed to protect these idols were the ones inflicting pain and using physical harm and fear tactics to make the kids become better performers.
I want to introduce you to this really exciting new sound. Make some noise, people. The Eastlake.
The Eastlake were a bright and talented 6-member boy band under Media Line Entertainment. Prior to their debut, most of the members did some sort of work within the entertainment scene. The former leader Lee Suk-chol acted in the 2014 movie My Boy. Members Eun-sung, Sa-gang, and Woo-jin participated in The Voice Kids Korea 2013. Jun-wook appeared on the SBS show Star King. Sa-gang was also a contestant on the Mnet show Superstar K3, while Eun-sung had made a cameo appearance in Monster. After the boys gained some experience in the entertainment industry, paired with their extensive training, the members were ready for debut. The group entered the K-pop scene in 2016 with their single Hala, and the members ranged anywhere between 13 to 16 years old at the time of this release. The Eastlake gained a small fan base labeled Sunnies. They were not a large fan base, but they were loud, supportive, and proud of their boys. The members were bright and talented young boys with lots of potential and gave just as bright and cheerful music with singles such as I Got You and Love Letters. They were slowly rising into popularity by performing at big music and award shows, having the opportunity to collaborate with groups such as N-Flying and Mamamoo. Their youngest member Woo-jin competed on Produce 101 Season 2, and last but not least, Eun-sung and Sa-gang also competed on I Can See Your Voice and won on the episode, winning the chance to duet with Highlight. The boys were riding high on their ever-growing popularity, but all that changed in 2018, when the public would become aware of the abuse boys were suffering behind the scenes. October 18, 2018, the media received a leak that the members were being abused both physically and verbally by their producer and CEO. The public's reaction was in shock, but they were not prepared for the extreme and traumatic conditions the young boys allegedly had to work through. October 19, 2018, the group's leader at the time, Lee Suk-chol, accompanied by his lawyer, held a press conference and shared the terrible, heart-shattering experience he, along his bandmates, suffered. The then 18-year-old stated that the abuse started at the age of 13 or 14. As the leader of the Eastlake, and as one of the K-pop artists who lead Korean culture, I could no longer tolerate the pain that our members were going through. We decided to hold a press conference in hopes of eliminating in violation of human rights in the K-pop industry. From 2015 to 2017, the producer repeatedly made us get on the floor as he hit our buttocks with baseball bats and iron bars in the practice room or in the recording studio. He even threatened to if we ever told our parents. My brother was locked in a recording studio, and the producer hit his head, thighs, arms, and buttocks so many times. His head had bloody wounds and bruises. He had been traumatized after all the threats and violence, and he is currently getting psychotherapy treatment. Suk-chol added that his bandmate, vocalist Eun-sung, also suffered bruises. According to Suk-chol, there was also one incident around the period of their debut. The producer would use a guitar string and wrap it around his neck and would pull it whenever he made a mistake during the practice session. His lawyer then spoke on their behalf and said the parents were unaware of the abuse until they became aware of one incident. The company promised their parents that they'd never do it again. Lee Suk-chol's younger brother, Lee Sung-hyun, who was also a part of the group, went to the company and CEO and told him about what they were receiving from the producer. The company responded back by kicking him from the group and the company. The parents were confused when they found out Sung-hyun was kicked out and proceeded to plead with the boys to tell him everything that went on during closed doors. After the news was released to the public, K-pop fans from all over the world showed their support to the boys and were horrified and upset that the young boys suffered traumatic experience no child should go through. Netizens in the media then found previous clips that could have alluded to the abuse. In a video from their YouTube page, there is a clip where 3 of the members are in frame, and one of the members could be heard off screen repeatedly saying, "It's a mistake," and what the viewers assume is him being struck with something. I will be playing the clip, so take a listen for yourself, or you can skip to the timestamp on the screen, and I will retell everything that happened in the clip. Member Eun-sung said, "I Actually, on our way here, Sukchol was playing music in the car and had opened the sunroof without starting the engine, doing everything he wanted to do, so the battery in one of the cars died. He's being disciplined by our manager. The members go to turn the camera to the member and manager, but the clip gets cut to a black screen that says the video was deleted at the request of the agency. The station, JTBC, also received an audio clip of a separate incident. The audio was then translated. If you've entrusted someone with something, then you need to leave it alone, even if I beat you to If you make the papers as a celebrity, you won't have any grounds to stand on. Who's going to take in kids with problems? You can't make a big deal out of this. You can't. Your parents will just be more upset, 10 times more upset than they are now. Media Line Entertainment issued an apology in response. This is Kim Chung-hwan, the CEO and general producer of the Eastside agency Media Line Entertainment. Firstly, as the person who is responsible for Media Line Entertainment and the Eastside, I am strongly aware of my faults and apologize profusely for what has arisen because I was unable to properly manage the staff. As I watched Lee Suk-cheol's press conference, my heart ached as much as it did when I first found out a year and 4 months ago that the members had been victims of a However, as was stated yesterday, while working with many artists in the past 30 years of my career, I have never once instigated or abated violence. And while there have been many times where I have thought or cautioned the members, I state once again that I have never committed verbal abuse or I humbly accept the criticism in regards to my mistake and negligence, and I will try to dispel all doubts by approaching them with honesty. However, for the future of the remaining 4 members of the Eastside, we will be making an active response in regarding to the acts of defamation committed through exaggerated false information. I apologize once again for causing concern through this controversy. Media Line then went on to terminate the remaining members' contract, and the CEO and producer resigned from the company. The E brothers said that they would be proceeding with filing a legal complaint and hope to end child abuse not only within K-pop but also their country. On October 25, 2018, the two brothers, alongside their lawyer and father who was their legal representative, visited the police station to provide their testimony for the abuse case against Media Line Entertainment. The younger of the two, Sung-hyun, made a short statement to the press before entering the police station. He said, "I am very exhausted and afraid. CEO Kim Chung-hwan just stood by and watched while producer Moon Young-il hit me and locked me in for 4 hours on June 13th. All he said was, 'Keep it easy.' Although Moon Young-il was holding onto my hair and my head was bleeding, the producer did that for another 2 or 3 hours. I remember clearly as if it happened yesterday. I am so afraid." He was also asked if he is still going to treatment. He replied, "Yes, I'm currently receiving treatment." He concluded by saying, "This cannot happen again. I'm trying to tell you right now, but I will reveal everything during the investigation." On October 26, 2018, after the E brothers did an exclusive interview with SBS Night of Real Entertainment, where they spoke further detail on the abuse, the younger of the two, Sung-hyun, said, "He would often curse at me and say that I was a disgusting kid. It was so hard that I thought a lot about jumping into the Han River." He was 14 when the abuse started and confirmed that their youngest member, Eo-jin, who was an elementary school student at the time, was also hit. Suk-chol added, "We had a group chat where we would always report to the CEO, saying when we would arrive and when we left. We were hit if we didn't text." The older of the two said he felt terrible once he found out the other members' contracts were terminated after the allegations were brought to light. He said that he has not spoken to any of the members since. Before the first trial began, former CEO Kim Chung-hwan, along the former Eastside members Lee Eun-sung and Jung Sung-gang, held a press conference along with the agency executives and accused the E brothers of lying and claimed their father was the one that assaulted the brothers with the golf club. The brothers went on to sue them for defamation. On March 4, 2019, the first trial was held at the Seoul Central District Court. Moon Il-young pleaded guilty. Kim Chung-hwan was charged with child abuse and aiding and abetting in child abuse. Lee Jung-hyun, representative of Media Line Entertainment, was charged with violating the child welfare law. In the second trial, both brothers went under interrogation. Former Eastside member Lee Eun-sung was also supposed to be under investigation, as well did not show up to court. In the third interrogation, both parents of the brothers underwent interrogation as witnesses, as well as former Eastside member Kim Jong-wook. The boy's father testified that he heard producer Moon had physically assaulted and forcibly imprisoned his younger son. He further continued, When both boys arrived home, he noticed his younger son Sunghyun had trouble taking off his jacket, and when they helped him take it off, the two parents saw the injuries on his head, arm, shins, and rear. The father went to speak to the producer immediately, and when confronted, producer Moon said, "I hit him because I got worked up." The father replied, if it was the first time, then he'd let it pass and comfort his son, but it was wrong to hit children. Former CEO Kim Chung-hwan allegedly replied to the father, "The bleeding from his head isn't that big a deal. You must have gotten hit a lot when you were in school, right? Getting hit can help you grow." The defendant's lawyer claimed that the photos the parents had taken of Lee Sung-hyun's injuries on June 14 did not match the description of the injuries that he had on June 13th. They claimed Lee Sung-hyun had received further injuries in the time between the description on June 13 and the photos on June 14th, implying that he had been by his parents. The brother's mother testified that the photos were taken on the 14th because the boys had gone to sleep after they returned home. The company allegedly told the mother that they would take Sung-hyun to the orthopedics doctor the next day, but her sons had to leave early for the concert and did not return until late that night. The subject of the parents and their children was brought up again. Here's the father's response. "Our children have been abused for years, but they were worried about the other members and tried to hide it. I am deeply sorry to them as an adult. Even children have characters. As adults, we should protect children. They will be forever traumatized by what happened to them." Their mother's testimony reads as follows. Lee Sung-hyun was yelled at by producer Moon Young-il because of soccer and told us one day while crying that he didn't want to go to the agency because he was afraid of getting beat. We confronted him and sent him to the agency, and later, Lee Suk-chul helped him home around 11 p.m. She testified that she had found bruises on Lee Sung-hyun's body and that the agency had made no effort to treat his injuries. "My children joined the Eastlight because of a dream they've had since childhood. I have been deeply hurt by the lies that CEO Kim Chung-hwan has told. Rather than their physical injuries, their mental injuries are the most serious. One day, Sung-hyun contacted me to say, 'Don't be too sad if I die.' I was so anxious for my child, who is more precious to me than my life, that I got into a minor car accident while trying to find him. Thankfully, I was able to contact him and tell him that his mother had been in an accident. I told him to come find me. My children have lived a life for so long. What if he had died without revealing the truth? They have to be punished." Former Eastlight member Kim Jung-wook said in his testimony that he never witnessed directly, and it was so long ago that he doesn't remember. But when asked about the bleeding head incident, he replied, "He was hit by producer Moon Young-il in the head, but it wasn't a strong or weak blow. Everyone was shocked to see the blood flowing to the ground." He further added, "He is someone who naturally speaks roughly to people. He swears a lot. He has resorted to corporal punishment before. But I had heard that on that day, he hit harder than usual." After a long legal battle, Moon Young-il was sentenced to prison on charges of habitual child of former Eastlight members Lee Suk-chul and Lee Sung-hyun. Kim Chung-hwan was also sentenced for aiding and abetting child and emotionally abused Lee Sung-hyun by forcing him to accept electronic cigarettes and hitting him on the head. Both defendants appealed the original sentence, but only former producer Moon Young-il was lessened from 2 years down to 1 year and 4 months, while Kim Chung-hwan was sentenced to 8 months. In May of 2020, 2 of the former members of the Eastlight, Eun Sung and Jung Sung-gang, were accused of perjury after their former CEO and producer were found guilty. If you recall earlier, the 2 former members, alongside the former CEO and producer and agency executives, held a press conference before the first trial and accused the brothers of lying and claimed the E brothers' father was the one who assaulted the brothers. The law firm defending the E brothers released a statement on the matter. Seoul Pangbae Police Station, which had been investigating Kim Jung-hwan, Lee Jung-hyun, former producer Moon Young-il, Eun Sung, and Jung Se-gang for perjury and instigating perjury in the case, has confirmed to have forwarded suspects Moon Young-il, Eun Sung, and Jung Se-gang to prosecution without detention on May 7, 2020. Previously, the victim sued Moon Young-il and Eun Sung for perjury along with Kim Jung-hwan and Lee Jung-hyun for instigating perjury in September 2019 and filed additional charges against Jung Se-gang for perjury in November 2019. After nearly 8 months of investigation, the suspects of perjury were sent to prosecution for questioning. However, it is confirmed that the charges of investigation perjury for Kim Jung-hwan and Lee Jung-hyun were sent to prosecution without recommendation for indictment. Given the perjury is a crime committed by the suspect's student instigators who benefited from the perjury, it is highly likely that Kim Jong-hwan and Lee Jung-hyun were involved in perjury committed by Moon Young-il, Eun Sung, and Jung Se-gong. Therefore, we will make an effort to prove the accusers instigated perjury in further investigation by the prosecution. This is just one of the horrible cases in K-pop that were brought to light after being kept a secret for so many years. There's so much we don't know behind closed doors of these entertainment companies. What are your thoughts on child and the dehumanization of idols in the K-pop industry? Leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your stay.